the so-called leaders of Israel. And it's because they believe that they have the most knowledge and all this other stuff. But see, the thing that they don't have is humility. The thing that they don't have is mercy or an adherence to speaking to your neighbor as a brother. All right. And what they also do, they handcuff this truth of ours. All right. And Slakia, let me not say that in the sense of how this fool, what's his name, Gabar from GMS, how he says it, because he'll say this thing of ours, which is a reference to that whole thing in I think what's that movie, The Godfather. Monatizak coming at me about me talking about basically what I was explaining in the video, and it was going against Sicarii in their folly and wickedness, but basically explaining that this ain't the whole totality of the ministry teaching on the streets. It is it a prime thing to do? It's one of the offices of the body. But what these guys don't tell you or go into is the fact that there are many members in the body of Mashiach Yahushua, the same temple that's going to be established in the kingdom of heaven. That's basically dealing with the true temple, man, which is you. But he that committed fornication sinneth against his own body.
So it called it fornication. He's referring to it as fornication right here.
Exactly.
Joining your members to a harlot. He's referring to it as fornication in this chapter.
And GMS believes that's adultery.
Whether they fall into GMS. I think that what's been created is more like a funnel to funnel the people who are of the understanding that the mark of the beast is the microchip, to funnel those people into a group, to funnel those people into a group, to funnel those people into a group.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, their goal is, if you listen to it with open ears, for he that has an ear that can hear, every single camp is saying you got to come through them, right? Orders of GMS, they teach that they have 100% truth, and if you in any of those other camps, then of course you going off and you're gonna be the blind leading y'all gonna fall in the ditch.
But see, the thing that they don't have is humility. The thing that they don't have is mercy or an adherence to speaking to your neighbor as a brother, speaking to your neighbor as a brother, speaking to your neighbor as a brother, speaking to your neighbor as a brother.
All praise Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. What you're looking at right now, or who you're looking at, is Rayabia Ben Gad, aka the Zealots of Israel, the sexual deviant. And we do have the testimony from the mother of his victim, who he tried to advance on the back of a bus.
She said it was just a situation where I would see you guys teaching on the street, right? Let's rewind.
Okay. It was just a situation where I would see that you guys teaching on the street. And then one day I saw him on the bus.
She said, and then one day I saw him on the bus.
And my daughter and a couple of her friends were on the bus.
And my daughter and a couple of her friends were on the bus.
My daughter was with me, but her friends were just, we just happened to see them.
She said, my daughter was with me, but her friends, they just happened to see him. This is how ridiculous Gad is. This woman who comes and listens to us teach the Bible every single week, Gad sees her here. She's on the bus with her daughter. He doesn't, for some reason, he doesn't see that this girl that he's getting ready to do this with, this teenage girl, is with her mother. This what I'm talking about, Balawam.
He was just trying to talk to them.
Says, so he just tried to talk to them. Right? That's what she said. He tried to talk to her daughter, right?
That's it.
Like he was trying to like talk to them, like get at them type deal, you saying?
Yeah, and they told him that they were too young. And he said said he didn't care about that. And they told him that they were too young. And he said he didn't care about that. And they told him that they were too young. And he said he didn't care about that. And they told him that they were too young. And he said he didn't care about that. And he said he didn't care about that. He didn't care about that. He didn't care about that. He didn't care about that.
I want to give all the praises and the honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Recha Ha-Quadash, and double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone. Also a sincere shalom to you other elders, you brethren, you few sisters. And let me say shalom to the elect, because that's what this is about. Okay, I want to go into this video. It's a lot to go into. I actually witnessed viewed the Sicarii video with this guy, Gad, whatever his name is, from, he's a break off from Sicarii, from what I understand. He's got a group called the Zealots, right? So it's a lot to go into in this video, and I'm not going to be able to hit all the points because it's kind of a twofold thing. But I want to go into a couple of things that he said, which proves that these guys are low level. And again, I'll say that these guys have managed to call people names, call the apostles names. I've had people call me old bottles and different names. That's not what we're here to contend for. We're here to contend for the truth. And this is why in the past, when these guys make stupid videos and call out names, I don't get involved in that. I get involved in the doctrine. Okay, and these guys, and we're defenders of the doctrine. And these guys, they could say things about the apostles. Okay, I don't get all that upset because this is part of the glory. The scripture says they shall hate you, right? They shall persecute you. And that's what these guys are doing. So the apostles of Great Millstone and other brothers, we are fulfilling the prophecy of the hopeful elect. Now, I also want to go into the fact of what he said about Apostle Gabar saying this thing of ours. See, if these guys in their spirit felt like they was trying to be part of the elect, they would include themselves as ours. Right? Because we don't know who the elect is, but we say the Apostle Gabar says this thing of ours because we have the spirit of wanting to be of the hopeful elect. I mean, we go out every week. They've been our teachers going out every week, who I've learned from, who other brothers learned from, and they're doing the will of the Heavenly Father. Right? And meekness and fear. This is why we out there. But these guys, they don't go out there. I think I seen a video. I looked at their channel. It's been like 9 months. I could be wrong. They may have another page. But I don't see their works. Their works is just sitting behind the keyboard, and they become brute scoffers, man. Okay? So anyway, Apostle Gabar says these thing of ours. Because he's speaking in the audience. This is just like Apostle Paul when you go to the book of Acts, when he said he beckoned his hands to the audience and said, ye men of Israel, Acts 2:21, ye men of Israel, hear these words, whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord. This also clarifies the fact that you could be speaking to a group of people using it by means via internet and only reaching out to the elect, the ones that's listening. How else will we know? And these guys use the blue letter, man. They've taken, they're like locusts. They've taken, which locusts, are lawful to eat, okay? But let's say they're like an unlawful insect, man. I don't know which other way to put it. They go in and they take and they, use what they could use, and then they go on and make and create their own doctrine. Okay? They always going into that blue letter, though. How did they figure that out? But the same ones that's calling the Apostle Tahar's name and Apostle Gabar different names, and myself and whoever else, he spoke of Elder Monatazat, which is all good. This is all good. This proves the hurt the hurt that these guys have because they don't have the truth. But we all supposed to be brothers, right? We're all brothers. And this guy does countless videos on pedophilia and saying that we are rapists, and yet none of us have been caught indulging in an act like that. But this guy, right in front of the mother of the children, and I'll say that, very young teens, right, who has the mentality of a very young girl, because these are not ancient women, okay? This is why we say, according to these laws, you can't do that and not to mess with a 12 or 13-year-old. You can't be a 30-year-old man, a 40, 50-year-old man messing with a 12-year-old, man, in this society. We just said it happened in the ancient times because those women were built up and recognized to be able to do that. But these women today ain't like that. But this is the same guys that go around calling us all these names, rapists and pedophiles, and they do it. So we can clearly see that a lot of these guys that have this out for us and calling us these names, they're the ones doing it. They're the pedophiles. Okay? They're the pedophiles. They're indulged in pedophilia. Okay? But anyway, this is why Apostle Gabar says this thing of ours. Let's go to Matthew 13 and let's go to 10. And the disciples came because this guy says GMS feels like they have to have they feel they have the 100% truth, and no, there's many bodies to the cause of Israel. No, there's not many bodies. Well, they are on the left hand side, but there's many doctrines too. And was it 1 Corinthians 14:33 said the Lord is not an author of confusion, for Yahweh is not an author of confusion, but of peace, and as in all the churches and of the saints. So I guess this guy's kind of confused. They're feeling like, okay, then since we say we have the truth and the 100% truth of the doctrine of the scriptures, as we say, that they are supposed to be partakers in 100% truth as well. And no, you're not. No, you're not. And we say that. I can't say you're not the elect or not, but as we say that, you're teaching contrary to what we teach. So it doesn't sound, feasible. Let's go to Matthew 13:11. And the disciples came and said unto him, why spakest thou unto them in parables? And so when apostles speak this thing of ours, right? There we go. Why speakest thou unto them in parables? He answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but unto them it is not given. And this is talking about other Israelites. So these guys ain't nothing more than Christian Israelites that think that Yahweh is just going to deal with every damn body that claim that put on a leather garment and claim that they're Israelites. For whosoever hath to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. But whosoever have not for him shall be taken away, even that he hath. And this is why he had the truth, and they lost the truth, because they're reprobates. Okay? This is Matthew 7:3. And why beholdest thou the mote in thy brother's eye, but considerest not the beam that is in thy own eye? Talking all this trash, talking about we're rapists and pedophiles, and that's not scriptorial. It's not scriptural. It's not scriptural. It's not scriptural to mess with young girls. But this guy, right behind the scenes, has jumped on the wagon and tried to lasso a couple of young girls off the bus, man. This is a shame. Okay? 1 Timothy 4:1. Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils, speaking lies. This is them speaking lies and hypocrisy, because that's what this guy is, having their conscience seared with a hot iron. And this is the wickedness that this guy has. He wanted to take a little bit of GMS. Now they want to talk trash on GMS. You guys are sick. You're sick. You have all this love. You jumped in. This guy used to come on my page and different brothers' pages. and learn what they can learn. Then they go and create their own platform. Let's look up this word of pedophilia, because they call us pedophiles, right? So let's look at it. It says sexual perversion in which children are the preferred sexual object, a psychiatric disorder. They call it a disorder, which an adult has sexual fantasies about it or engaged in sexual acts with a prepubescent. Okay, a prepubescent. That's before puberty. Okay. Or it says relating to being in or occurring in the period of development immediately preceding puberty. Right? That's what prepubescent. So these guys have managed to call us pedophiles when really we taught that, you know, in the ancient times when a woman had a period, and I believe some customs still practice it, she became a woman, especially one that was nourished up in truth and understanding and knew how to deal with it and was raised properly, right? So we said there was nothing wrong with that. But this guy, they talk so much slander on us, talk so much trash, but they use what we taught and they heaped it up to themselves to go out here and try to commit the act on their own. In his mind, he's like, GMS, yeah, they taught such and such thing, and he took advantage, but GMS don't teach to go out here and mess with young women. Right? We don't teach that. We don't teach go out here and try to get yourself some 12-year-old or 13-year-old or even 14-year-old woman, and you 30 goddamn years old, man. You gonna get your ass locked up. Okay? You gonna get your ass locked up. Ephesians 4 verse 4. There is one body and one spirit, even as ye called in one hope of your calling. One. So there's no way that we could have a truth, then you can have a truth, then General Yohana can have a truth, then IUIC can have a truth, but then that's like 4 or 5 different bodies. But the Lord said there's one body. What are you guys talking about? On and on again. I mean, there's so many more scriptures to go in on that. Romans 16, mark them that cause division, contrary to the doctrine. To the doctrine. Okay? So yes, it's this thing of ours. And if you wasn't so guilty of not doing the Heavenly Father's work, you would be considered in your mind, okay, I partake in it. But since you're a scoffer, you understand that it's not of you. That's why Yahweh said it's only given to an elect to know the mysteries. And we believe we have the mysteries. And one of them is that mark of the beast, which you guys don't teach. And then he says that we trying to heap everybody into one audience and to teach them the chip or whatever. Hey, that's what Apostle Paul would have done. He used guile. He used much guile. Talking about the laws, don't, you know, how this about the mercy and the grace. And we showed mercy and grace. But nah, you guys have to sit up there and talk trash, man. That's why you considered reprobates. You couldn't stand the test. I just wanted to touch on these guys and the hypocrisy, and the Most High is gonna start exposing more of these wicked characters who put on leather garments and claim that they're in the truth, leather or vinyl garments, and claim they're in the truth. That's all I have on that. Shalom.